Hi there. Today we're going to spend some time setting up a home for a curly-haired tarantula in this little box here. This is a mesh topped bib. There's the top and it just slides in like this. Makes it a nice secure home. Now, this would not be a good home for an arboreal tarantula because they like to climb up and settle in the roof. And it also wouldn't be suitable for full grown, but this is for a juvenile, nice little baby. In fact, at the moment it's still a spiderling, but we're getting things ready for when it's older. But more on that later. So we've got some bits and pieces here to make a start with. So odd bits of decoration and things that it'll be able to hide in and under. Springtails, which we'll talk about in a bit. This is topsoil, but it's sterilised topsoil with no additives, so we make sure that it's from somewhere that doesn't put fertilisers or anything like that in. I like the Wick's own brand one in particular. Then we have sphagnum moss, which comes like this, dehydrated. I keep it in a block like this and just take out as much as I need. And today I've put some into some warm water and it's rehydrating. And you can see it makes quite a lot. Might have too much here, but it's better to have too much than not enough. This piece of slate that's been sterilised as well is going to be used to make somewhere for the spider to hide and give some interesting levels. And we're going to get some reptile safe plants to add to it. So I need to make a start. The start off will be getting the substrate sorted, because it's really important when you're making a bioactive enclosure that that's spot on. So I'm going to put the camera down now, and you'll be able to see in a minute what we do to get the substrate just right. Okay, so there isn't an ideal camera angle for this, but to start with it is very simple, just like playing and stuff when you're a kid and messy play. So I'm going to tip in some of the base substrate, but we want lots of organic stuff to go in with it. So I'm going to add in this moss. Some chunks like this, and then it's all about stirring it up and getting it just right. Don't need lumps. I've got lots of organic stuff mixed in there. Now I want a fair bit of depth so as the spider can burrow. So as you can see, that's not providing me with enough. I'm going to go and get some more, and we'll be back shortly. So there we have the basic substrate, roughly how I want it. A fair bit of depth there, you see, and I've put that slate piece in because it'll give something for the spider to crawl over and investigate. Not a spider, tarantula. Tarantula fanciers are quite particular about that. So now we're going to add some more decorative items. These are all things for the tarantula to hide under. The leaf litter is going to be for on the soil once we've planted, and these are reptile safe plants that have been raised with no insecticides anywhere near them, no plant food, anything like that, so they're nice and safe for our reptiles. And they're also been checked to make sure that all these varieties are going to be absolutely fine and nice and safe, because some plants can be poisonous. So I'm going to get on with putting those in, and then you get to see the next stage. Before we move on, have a quick look. This is Zim, my Madagascan day gecko, in his bigger setup. So here you can see I've got the plants in there. We've got the piece of slate for the tarantula to hide under. Lots and lots of hides and pieces of bark and places where it can sneak off and hide away to feel secure. We're going to add some more leaf litter like this that will give more hiding places. But the next thing we're going to do is add in some of the insects that help to make it bioactive. The first one will be springtails. And this is springtails. I'll take the lid off, so bear with me a sec. Springtails are great. They are amazing. These are the kings of bioactive enclosures. So you saw those little white dots moving about? They're the bugs called springtails. They're too small for most of our animals to use them as feeders, but what they do is they eat the poop, clean up everything. They're the mainstays of clean-up crew. And all we need to do, this is quite a small enclosure, is just put a few bits around like this. Add that substrate as well, and they'll soon mix in, and they'll go on to breed and flourish and live their lives. They'll be living their best life in here. Okay, so that's them. And in here I have a few tropical grey wood lice, and I'm going to add a few of those as well. They'll help stir it up and aerate the soil. So while I do that, I'm going to switch you off for a minute. I'll be back soon. So there we have it. Plants in, insects in. I mean not the tarantula, of course. The bioactive guys that are going to be the cleanup crew. They give it a nice spray of water. Lots of hides in there. And no matter what creature I put in, I always like to have more hides than you think is necessary, because I think it is good to give them lots and lots of security. They reward you by being more confident because they feel safe. So I'll give it a good soak in the water. And then, do you all think I'm going to put the tarantula in? No. I'm going to put the lid on, like this. I'm going to step back and admire our work, which doesn't look too great with all the sprays of water on, but will once that's cleared. And I'm going to keep it well watered, well cared for, with the addition of a couple of pinches of bug grub every so often, so as everything in there can get well established before we add a tarantula. So let's see what happens in a few weeks when it's all settled down.